We're hearing from the family of one of the victims in that tragic Oklahoma slumber party shooting that left 6 people dead. Earlier this month, police say 39-year-old Jesse McFadden shot and killed his wife, her teenage children, and their 2 friends who were at the house for a sleepover. McFadden then killed himself. NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Entin joins us now. Brian, I just can't fathom how these families are getting through this.
Yeah, they're very, very emotional, Elizabeth, as you can imagine, especially when you think about what happened in this house behind me. You know, the victims, their families, they drive by this house every day. It's really on the main drag right here, but they never could have imagined what was happening inside. They say, though, the authorities should have known because of newly discovered red flags. This is where Justin Webster can find a little peace. The garden he planted in memory of his daughter Ivy, one of the 6 victims killed by convicted sex offender Jesse McFadden at the Oklahoma slumber party massacre 2 weeks ago. Do you feel like you've had a chance yet to grieve or accept it?
I feel like I haven't, because I've been fighting so hard, and I'll continue to fight. I don't have time to sit in the bed and curl up and cry like I really want to. But I gotta make sure that this doesn't happen to any other kid.
Oh my God.
Ivy's grandmother, Shannon Boykin, took this video inside what's been dubbed the sex offender den. Police initially cleared the house, but Shannon went inside the house and found shackles, drugs, electronics, and sex paraphernalia.
It was like walking into doom when you walked in that house. The smell was just, and it wasn't a cat box smell.
And now new questions surfacing about whether officials at the Okmulgee Sheriff's Office, the office that was supposed to be tracking McFadden, had a strange connection to the sex offender. NewsNation obtaining this marriage license from 1 year ago that shows the Sheriff's Office chaplain performed the ceremony for McFadden and his wife Holly, who had children at the time from previous relationships. And the witness who signed off is the sheriff's administrative assistant. No one answered at the chaplain's house, and he ignored my calls and texted me, no comment. We also went to the sheriff's office. Hi, how are you? I'm okay. My name is Brian Entin. I'm a reporter with NewsNation. We're doing a story about the Jesse McFadden situation. No one would talk to me about the investigation or the marriage license. The victim's attorney told NewsNation's Ashley Banfield, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
And here's the crazy thing, and let me add one thing that you haven't mentioned. Less than a month after the marriage, there was only one time that a sheriff's deputy ever checked the house, and that was after the wedding. And there's no other checks at all before or after at the residence of this sex offender. And the check was done by the sheriff's the sheriff's secretary's son.
Do you think the failures initially with not searching was it an oversight? Or do you think there's something more to it with what you're learning about the marriage certificate?
At this point, I think there's more to it. I don't want to call it a cover-up, but yet we now know there's a lot more to the story that they didn't want to investigate, and that is the question, why?
So the families there obviously determined to get answers to figure out what was going on behind the scenes before this massacre. The state, they are now investigating. State law enforcement is in charge of the investigation. They are not commenting right now, though. Elizabeth?
Wow, those families have already uncovered quite a bit. Brian Entin, thanks so much. And for a lot more on this case, be sure to tune in to Banfield later tonight. Ashley has exclusive new reporting on the massacre, including new details on the landlord and the property where the tragedy unfolded.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.